Yeah, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Uh, it's been a few days. It's been a lot with my personal life this week. My father got a surgery yesterday, so that has taken some time this week. So I haven't been able to play that much chess. But everything's great. The surgery went okay. He's feeling a lot better, so it was a great success. Also, me and my father, I showed him the YouTube channel because we had nothing else to do at the hospital. So, and we also read the comments there. It's not a lot of comments, obviously, but we read the one about the Unibomber with the sunglasses and the hoodie. Great comment. So I decided to film this without sunglasses. It was more to try and be like a bit more camouflage. I'm not too comfortable showing my face, but I don't mind having them off. I probably will be wearing some strange sunglasses now and then. I got a lot of them. I even have like some Terminator glasses or something. That's just like one strip all the way around. Probably not Terminator, but like Star Trek maybe something sci-fi. But yeah, but today we're gonna play another game. And I also want to tell, yesterday I played against a grandmaster, Norwegian grandmaster, over the board in my city. I had a great game. Maybe I will show it here. I was a lot better, like position wise. I had a good position, and I knew I was standing better, and he knew it. And my nerves got to me. My hand was shaking. I was telling my buddy, I was bumping him in the arm because he was sitting next to me, saying that I think I actually got him. I just have to like focus. And I had like good ideas in the position, and I messed up. I blundered my rook. I saw he moved his knight backwards, and backwards knight moves can be a bit tricky. But obviously, I saw he was attacking my rook, and I gave him a check, and I was thinking about what I wanted to achieve in the position, and I had 15 minutes left on the clock, so I had plenty of time to think, and I knew I had to move my rook, but then I saw this brilliant move that I could take a pawn on the other side of the board and then move the rook after, and I just played it without thinking anymore. When I saw that move, I was like, "Oh, this is great!" And then he took my rook, and I lost the game. And he laughed, and I cursed, and I was like, "Oh, are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was pretty lucky there." He said it. I was like, "Yeah, you bet," because I had him on the ropes. Maybe I'll show that game someday. It was pretty fun to get the chance to play a grandmaster, and he gave me some tips as well. He had some showcase games that he showed, and a pretty learning experience. Okay, nevertheless, we're gonna play another game. I haven't played since the last game, so I think we'll just jump straight in and see what we get here, and take it from there, basically. Last game was a pretty quick win because of a one move mistake from my opponent. We get the guy from Palestine, yeah. Alright, we get the white pieces, okay? And like I said in the first video, we're probably gonna play the London system. It's easy to play for me. I played it for a long time. But I could consider playing some Gambits line that I think are quite fun. But for now, I think we're just gonna play something that I know. I'm on the grind here to 2k, so I can't take too many risks. Okay, so we enter, like, this is probably the best way to meet the London system in my opinion. Moving the c pawn to c5 before playing the knight to c6. It adds a lot of pressure in the center, and I usually don't play bishop d3 here because of pawn to c4 or knight to b4. Both of them hitting the bishop, and I want to keep that bishop basically. So a lot of people would play knight f3 or maybe even knight d2, and I usually play c3 here just to avoid mainly knight here. They can still play c4, but then they relieve the pressure in the center, so that's not too concerning. The only thing that I don't necessarily like if I play c3 is bishop to e5. Then I will still play bishop d3, but I will get an exchange of the light square bishops. And then, like, I feel like I lose some of the punch in the position after that. But we have to just deal with it. And this is also a very good idea from black to stabilize or neutralize so they get an even game with white. Is playing queen here because I have to play queen b3 to defend the b2 pawn. There is a trick here. If I go queen to c2, they can play bishop to f5, which looks like a free bishop. But if you take that bishop, you lose the guard on the b2 pawn, so the queen can actually take there, and there's no way for my queen to go back and defend the rook. So therefore I can't play here. I don't want to give him that tempo and then move here. I would rather move queen here straight away. Excuse me. Okay, so he moves his pawn to c4, which I think is probably an okay move, but you don't have the pressure against the center anymore. An argument can be said for this bishop, it can't go to d3 anymore, so probably an okay move from his side, and he wants me to be the one taking. And usually it's not too good to have double pawns, but in exchange you get an open file for your rook, or semi-open file, and you also have this idea about pushing the pawn to try and attack my pawn chain down here. So I think he plays sensible moves, and I also notice he's 1800, so it's quite a strong opponent here. And still the same idea, if we go back to c2, the bishop will come here. And I could go back to c1 there, but still that position doesn't look very fun to defend. So I think I will take the queen here. And then, my friends, we have to think about our plan. So I think some of the main ideas after this is I have to be able to play e4 at some point to try and gain some space on the king side, since his focus is on the queen side. I'm not sure if I can throw in this move. No, I can't. Because he can still push b5, but I can't take because of my rook there, so let's think here. I'm thinking if I want my knight to come in here before he is able to push e6 or e5 to get my knight into this square, if that can be an idea. It looks very good there. So if we go knight a3, then he probably will push e5, because that attacks my knight and it attacks my bishop. And I'm thinking if I can go knight b5 after he moves e5. So he will take my bishop, and I'll jump in here with check. He moves his king, and I take his rook. And I'm attacking this pawn, which can't be easily defended. So I think that's an okay line. So what else can you play? I don't see any way for him to defend this square that easily. Maybe he can move his king, but then I feel pretty comfortable there. Or I can move my knight into d2 and go for a e4 push, which is probably a bit more positional and a decent idea. That's probably very good. But I'm an aggressive player, and I look for like more explosive moves, sort of. But I'm not too sure what's best to go for here. My pieces aren't developed, so I'm not sure if I should go for this. I also maybe get some ideas about this pawn. Okay, let's. Oh man, do I want to go for it? Where does his knight want to go? This knight wants to probably go in here, but we can play f3 maybe. Yes, I will go for this move and think about how we can push e4 later on. So I think I'm not too sure what I think. Probably this move is still a good move. And then I'll move my knight in, and then maybe he'll move his king after that. Okay, so he doesn't. He wants to probably meet this move with rook here, maybe. And also this takes more control of the e4 square, so later on if I want to push, I can't. So I think I will go here. Maybe his idea is to push e5 after I go there. I don't see any reason why I can't take that pawn. Yes, I will go in here. Just because my knight is not very good on the rim here, it will be an easy target there. And I do not want to double my pawns there. They will become pretty weak, and this pawn, I think, like this pawn would be pretty weak if this pawn was standing here. Then this pawn would be weak, and this pawn. If I lose this pawn, then he will have a pretty easy way to get a queen. So, positionally speaking, we both have two pieces. I think he actually is standing a bit better here because of the open file on the rook here. And he has a bit more space, it feels like, for me, because my bishop isn't able to go here. So I think he is a bit better here in this position. So ideas to push e4 here. What can I do to push e4? Okay, so he goes rook a5, which defends this pawn, so I don't have this move. I'm wondering if I can play a4. I think a4 looks like a good move. I wanted to play it before, but then he could play b5. But now he can't play b5. So I think maybe I want to go here. Maybe he wants to. No, I can't go back there. Or he could go back there, but why? This knight isn't that good, I feel like. So I probably have to play here. I don't want to go back with the knight, and this is the only move that defend the knight straight away. So this knight probably was to go here, but I do have f6 at the moment. Now I'm trying to think of a way so I can play e4, but I don't see any good ways at the moment. Like playing f3, e4 doesn't work. Okay, so he goes e6. So I am able to maybe check him here and trade off the bishop for a knight, which looks decent. Maybe I can go here to trade off this bishop, but then again I will probably move it back and recapture with the h-pawn and open this file as well. Maybe f4 e5 isn't too terrible because this pawn would be loose. Straight away I would lose the g2 pawn, so I have to build it up first. But it doesn't look terrible. And if I go knight here, maybe bishop here to prevent my knight to attack his bishop. And I don't think he's too concerned about my knight coming here, because if I do take, he will recapture and double his pawns. So maybe we will start with the knight here, yeah. And probably bishop here to stop the idea of taking his bishop. I'm not too sure if I want to do that, but maybe he is afraid of it. And if not, maybe I can jump my knight in here and play for g4, just going crazy towards his king. Because I need to develop my pieces, so I think I have to get them out there. But if I go here, maybe he plays f6 straight away. And then I have to go back, because I have no other square for my knight. But there's pros and cons with everything, and this pawn would be a bit weak if he did that. And he actually finds a pretty good move here. He attacks my a pawn. Which I obviously didn't see. It's like a very decent move. Okay, so I could go for some attacking ideas myself here. It's not easy for him to defend that pawn. He could move his rook back. Let me see here. Super hard position, I feel like. So I think maybe I just have to go for this. And if you then take, will he take with the bishop? I feel like he will take with the bishop, because this rook, no, a knight would be a bit loose. And if I take here, then he can take the knight with the rook, and I take his bishop, and he takes my bishop, and he wins 2 pieces, and I win 1. So that's not very good for me. So if I go here, and he takes, if I go for this check, he can just trade it, and I don't attack the pawns anymore. So these positions are pretty hard for me, because I feel like the opponent has all the ideas, and I'm struggling to find the right ideas in the position. So probably a pretty learningful game to look through with the computer after, to see what I should have been thinking. I don't see any tricks here. Pretty hard to. I have to lose the a4 pawn. So I think since this doesn't do anything, because after it takes, I have to move the knight. So I feel like I probably have to give this check, and this pawn would be loose if it doesn't trade. So I feel like it has to trade there. But I will lose the a4 pawn, which is a pretty important pawn. Sorry, I will turn off the notifications on my phone. It's a pretty important pawn because after that he will have a pretty basic idea about pushing the b pawn, and I'm unable to capture it. And after he captures, then he can just push the b pawn again, and this c pawn would be struggling quite a bit. So I feel like it's easier to play his position there. And he probably has to take this, I feel like. If he goes king here and I take this, can he play rook back there? Maybe he can. So maybe I can't even take that pawn. Okay, it does take. I will take back and I will lose this pawn. And then, what to do? Okay, so it does take with the rook. I feel like that kind of forces things for me, so I feel like that's okay. So I'm thinking I will take and then maybe play my knight back to be able to push e4, because now I have some ideas about pushing e4. And I feel like I have to do something with these pawns because they are way too strong. So I will take the rook here. I'm thinking, can I go here? Maybe I'll just push b5. Or maybe I should just no the knight back here. Okay, so if I go knight back, maybe he wants to place his knight into b3. It's not the best square for the knight, but it challenges my knight here, and still it prepares these moves. So, or actually, he probably should have the knight there now, because he needs to support b4 square. And with his knight here, I can take it with the bishop. So I will play knight back here, and we'll see how he finishes me off here. But I feel like he absolutely have the upper hand here. So I think I have to go for his push. There were also some troubles with this probably. And here I will take this. And maybe play g2 and my bishop here to put a bit of pressure. Right. This square is a bit better now for my knight. Or it's not better, because he can still play f6, which was the reason I didn't want to put it there before. So, because I don't see any good squares from bishop here. So I think I will play this move and play my bishop in here. He probably wants to play rook here and get a discovery attack on my king. That's a pretty nasty discovery attack actually, because his bishop is taking away the squares. And I don't trade this, but if I go here, he has this discovery attack, which wins the bishop. Because I can play my king here, that's not okay, but it's better than losing the game. Maybe I should have had a bit more respect for this move. Maybe I should just play bishop here and met this move with the castling or something. But if we go bishop here, knight here, I can go bishop back, and I think I to do to try and save the bishop and don't get checkmated. But this does not look good at all. So my plans here is pretty simple, to try and target this pawn somehow. But I feel like b5, b4 is such a strong idea for him, and I'm not sure how I can be able to defend that. So I will go bishop here, and probably just not moving this knight, but maybe moving this knight back to defend this one, and then continuing his plan. It's pretty strong. Not all the way there, but exchanging off. Maybe it is so strong that he can do it straight away. I felt like he probably had to defend this pawn. So I will take here. I do not see the tactic, if there is a tactic here. So he probably wants to push here, but now he can't because he will lose the knight. And this pawn is a bit loose. So I feel like if he plays this knight back, taking a bit more slowly, that would be crushing. The same idea, just waiting one more move. But now I feel like he lost some positional play here. So I think I do want to take this pawn as well. Like, why not? Do I want to take it with the bishop or the knight though? I do like to play with knights, but maybe it's more powerful to play with the bishop here. Because later on, maybe I can exchange these two bishops. So he wants to take. I think, can I not go there? And if he takes, I take this pawn, and then maybe castle after that. I'm not sure if I have to castle. Maybe I can just move my king up somewhere. But like at the moment, his knight is pretty bad. I think like getting it back here was much better, because in the same position as we are now, maybe the knight has some ideas about coming back here or getting it into some of my weaknesses here. But at the moment, my pawns are dominating this knight, and I see I am way too low on time, so I have to move a bit quicker. So maybe he wants to go back here, but then I will exchange the bishops, and then oh wait. If we go here and he goes here, I have bishop back here, luckily, so I can go here to defend this square, which is crucial. He doesn't want me to be able to castle, and that's fair enough. Maybe go up here now and try to swing my rook over, and it doesn't have like back rank issues straight away, but there are some ideas. Right now it's a bit weak, so maybe just go here. Yeah, go here. And you can have this check, but I will hide my king back here or back here. Not too sure what I like the most here. So he wants to. I can't trade, which looks okay. I think I will take here because I will get a pawn and the bishop here, right? What? Why did he resign? I was thinking maybe he had like a intermezzo here, but taking here and here, like it says it's a lot better, but still, like I have 1 minute. He has 13 minutes. So I mean, why would he resign here? You should never resign at this level, especially when your opponent has so low or is so long time. And I'm 100% sure he was much better earlier in the position. So when he, even though like I had a bit of a comeback there, obviously I can do mistakes, so he should have kept on playing. So here I think this is the most critical move, because when I went my bishop here, I think there's a lot of ways to defend this, but like I said, this knight doesn't have a lot of good squares at the moment. Maybe if he wants to push h5, h4, this knight could be good to back it up there. But if his idea is to push these pawns, I don't see any issues about putting the knight here to defend this pawn. So it's rook 3. You don't want to use the rook to defend that pawn. And here I'm not sure what I can do to build the pressure here straight away, or how I can back up this square. So like even going knight here, like you can go with this bishop back here. I have to go up and he can get this bishop on this diagonal. Well, let's just make some moves, and that now this idea is pretty strong. Like I do not want to take here. His knight will get in. My pawns will be super weak. So let's just make a move. And after it takes here, I take back. I have to take back. Even now, like playing b5. What can I do here? Like I don't see any good moves from here. The knight is too slow to get back. Maybe, yeah, maybe. No, I can't even go here. Can I? Because if you go here, bishop here, here. Can I even go there? No, I probably can't go straight away. I don't know where I want to put this bishop. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe here to attack the rook. Let's just say that. And I can't go rook here because his bishop is protecting that square. But like this, you see, like this idea now is so strong. My knight is even in this position under attack. And if I ever do take here, and he takes back, now this is a protected pass pawn, which he can use his pieces to push it forward. So I think like in that position he was a lot better, but he just had to be a bit more patient maybe and protect this pawn. Because after this I get rid of not just one, but I got two of his pawns here. And then I kind of lost all of his momentum on that side of the board. Now trading this pawn for that pawn. I'm the one with that pawn that can queen. Do not feel like it was necessary to resign the game here. Also here, like I could even take here probably, and he takes back, because that pawn would be pretty weak there. So I wasn't sure if I had, it's called a desperado, like if I'm gonna lose this piece anyways, why not take something with it to the grave, so to speak. So even here, like, let's say, it's not even the same thing though. Let me think. Let's say my bishop was there. I have to make a waiting move. Here, here, and here. No. Okay, my bad. Okay, let's go back. You guys probably know what a desperado is anyways. I was thinking like if there was a piece that was unprotected. I don't know how to set it up in this position. But even taking something with check, and after then it takes back, then I can like take the bishop. Now I moved it away, but then I can take the bishop, and I got a pawn and the bishop instead of just an equal trade, which it will be here. like bishop for bishop. So that's why I took the pawn here, and I wasn't too sure if he maybe had a tactic here with checking first. But as long as I'm careful, like if he checks here and I go back here, this would be devastating because then he can check again with the bishop and I have to move somewhere. And then this bishop is no longer in danger, so now I can just take it and it will be up some material there. So, but yeah, we got a win, and I'm at 17-18. And let's check the game review here. I felt like he played very good, and actually he wasn't winning that much, it says. So let me see if I can get it on the screen here. So 88.5 and 81.2, and there were 2 mistakes on my part and 4 mistakes on his part. So let's quickly go through here and see the game. Like I said, queen there is a very good move to equalize the game. Maybe I should... Can I not get the eval bar up here? Let me see quick. I cannot in this... Okay, but I can say it out loud so we know the current eval. So here it is 0.07, so basically totally equal. We get this trade, and now it's 0.39, so slightly better for black, minus 0.39. And his idea is to push this pawn, basically. So I go knight here, which is an accuracy, and G3 is the best mover, which looks kind of strange. Maybe it's not, or obviously it's not stupid since the computer says it, but it feels kind of strange blocking in my own bishop. It feels like it would be a pretty easy target, but maybe this idea is a bit strong then. So it goes bishop here, and I said e5 probably was a good idea here to open up an attack on the knight and the bishop, but I hoped I would have a tactic there. But now I go the knight in, and his rook goes to attack my knight. So I protect the knight, and it says the check is okay here, but my knight is protected by the bishop, but still, like, what is my knight doing there? It's not attacking anything. So I feel like that was kind of vulnerable. Now I place e6, which is good. And I wanted to develop my knight. It says king d2 here, which probably is because of the next move, bishop in here. And I should have thought about this pawn being a bit looser. It didn't cross my mind because after this I felt kind of confident that his moves would be to get his pieces out to castle or something. But if I looked a bit further, maybe I should have seen king d2 to prevent his bishop from coming in here. So that's something I will try and remember in next time, because this is a very common idea in the London system, or when you play against it. So I give it this check and we trade off, and it takes the pawn here. And it says knight f6 is best, but I don't see any reason why. Like, I would probably take with the bishop here, and after that move my bishop, because it doesn't force white, but if white ever takes, you get undouble your pawns. And this pawn is still pretty weak. So if you get the other rook or something to attack this pawn, or just gang up on it, then you would have a pass pawn on the a file instead. But I felt like this was okay, and now it's still minus 0.76 for black, so still a bit better. And now I wanted to go for the e4 push, and he wants to develop his knight to some of these squares probably. And I go for e4, which is good. when your opponent has such a great center, it's best to try and go for the base, which would be f7, but at the moment I can't attack there. But like if you don't trade here, in some positions you probably can play a5 and then play f4 and f5 to get to target this pawn. And I can't go further because he can take me, but that's usually like the same idea he has here, to go for this pawn, and after trade he can go with another pawn. But if this pawn was here instead, he could probably go for the same idea, but if I don't take, then he can push b3, and then he can push this pawn down and go for this pawn instead. So that's the idea about pushing e4 to get to try and take some of the control he has in the center. So he doesn't take, and he says b5 is the best move here, which probably is the best move in many cases. So I do take myself to weaken this pawn, so now it's no longer supported by a pawn, and it can't be supported by another pawn. And I play g2, which we saw after was probably not the best. Now it's minus 1.09 or minus 1 because of rook here probably, which is pretty, how do you say it, pretty bad for white. Like I'm kind of forced here to make some decisions because this bishop is pretty strong, taking away squares, and like if I go here, this is probably a blunder. Let me see. Now it's minus 2.8 because of, or you can go knight c8. I don't know if it matters where it goes, but this bishop will be lost. But luckily we didn't go for that. Instead, we went for bishop here, and he attacks the bishop, and we go bishop back here to. Now it's kind of passive. It's being used as a pawn, but obviously I don't lose it. So and now he goes for this plan, which the computer says it's inaccurate, but I feel like that's a pretty good plan. And I attack his base again. And now the best move is knight e7. Like I said, probably best to use the knight instead of the rook, because the rook is a more powerful piece and you have some open lines where you can use this rook. So knight e7, just playing a bit more passive, because it goes from minus 0.7 to plus 0.6 here. So it goes up by 1 for white. So now I get to take this pawn. And after the trade, he wants to not at least give this pawn for free. He wants to trade a bit more down. And it actually doesn't like me taking here. So now it's 0.1, so it's pretty equal here. And after the trade, it's plus 1 now. And I go for another trade, and I have to. And I calculated that if he goes here to maybe try and get my rook, which is defended by the bishop, I see, but still, I thought I have bishop here to protect that square. But it goes bishop here, which kinda is reasonable if you ask me, because he wants to take away a few more squares here. Maybe with the knight, if it could ever come here, it would take away a few more squares, and it could be a bit uncomfortable for me. But in this position, I felt like I had enough compensation, and I just had to be a bit careful. I was thinking about king here, but I thought, why not throw in bishop, so it's not in a bad place, so to speak, and then move my king up. Because now my rook is free, and my bishop are kind of centralized, and they are watching over many squares. Pretty powerful. And after rook here, I went rook here to attack his bishop, and his back rank is also a bit weak. I think there is plenty moves there. Like even bishop here, you will not get checkmated at least. Now it's actually plus 2.6 for white. And let's see what the best moves are here. rook a5 to protect the bishop. And f5 actually now is the best move by the computer. f5 is it's excellent, and it's switching between taking here or taking here. So I went for this, which is the best move. It's plus 2.9, and he resigned. But it says rook a2 is the best continuation. And if I did play here, it would drop to minus 2.5. So I wouldn't resign if I were black. You still have some play and some mistakes your opponent can make. But I think probably moving my king closer, or even back here, probably is okay for white, and he still has to deal with this bishop. So if you then trade here, and I thought maybe taking here would be best, but even knight d6 is a bit better. So you don't want to even trade down as black here. And I think you could still go for a draw or something, but my opponent did not want to go try even. So yeah, pretty decent game. I feel like I thought it was much better for black at the like a few phases in the game, but apparently I was okay throughout the game. But it felt a bit more. It felt a bit uncomfortable when he got his bishop in here. So that's like the main thing I want to take. I think from this position that I need to be aware of this maneuver. Because I felt pretty strong. It was a bit ugly losing this pawn, especially with this b5 b4 plan. But luckily we managed to to play it out and get the win there. And also, like I mentioned in the beginning, I got a few tips, and I will try to get some lights. I have the game over sign behind me here, and it's flipped, I see, because of the camera. But maybe I will get some RGB lights or something to make a bit more colorful theme in the videos as well. If you have any other recommendations, the same guy or someone else, please let me know. Especially in the beginning, obviously I read all the comments that you guys leave, and I would like to do better videos if that makes you guys want to watch it. So even changing the colors on the chess.com board, or yeah, just let me know. Whatever you want, I'll see what I can do. So thank you all for being patient, and thank you for watching this video. And, leave a comment and like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.